If you have to use your defensive firearm, make sure that it ends the threat. Want to take your knowledge beyond the narrated videos? Join us on Active Self-Protection Extra and subscribe for multiple videos every week to help you get better in your defensive skills. Hi everyone, this is John with today's Active Self-Protection lesson out of Brazil. Here we're going to see an attempted carjacking that goes terribly wrong for the carjacker. It's going to teach us some important lessons about keeping your force multiplier on you, about being especially aware in transitional spaces, which includes when your car is stopped and you're getting out, and number 3, making sure the threat is stopped if you have to use your firearm. Guys have just parked the car. You can see the passenger at the rear door trying to get stuff out. And when the driver opens his door to get out, we're going to see a couple guys pull up on a moto you just saw, and one comes out and he is a carjacker. Now our driver's going to get back in the car and get his pistol and then go to work. Puts a couple shots in that guy, looks to see what happened to the moto, and the other guy has kicked him a few times, so he puts a few more shots in that guy, and that guy takes the room temperature challenge. Now one of the things you notice here is our good guy's bent over because he's been hit as well, is what the news story said. Thankfully not terribly badly according to the news story, but his, the other passenger in the car is very concerned for him. He's going to get his shirt off here to try to plug that wound and start some first aid skills. Now what we're going to see here is that's going to take just a little bit. So we're going to speed that up just a little bit as he's trying to get the bleeding stopped, and then the neighbors show up. They're going to get him to the hospital. Again, the bad guy took the room temperature challenge, his partner ran off, and this one's over. Let's go back and think about some significant lessons out of this one. First of all, your car is a transitional space. We see him getting out of the car here. When your car is stopped, when you're getting in and out of the car, you are in a transitional space, and that means your risk of attack is higher. Be aware of your surroundings. When you're at your car, it's easy to get distracted by what's inside the car. Now, as he comes out here, he first notices our robber at the back of his car. Many gunfights take place at this kind of distance, about a car length or so. And thankfully, this guy gave him the time to get back in the car. But notice he's got to go back in and get his pistol, and I can't tell you enough. This is why I tell you to keep your pistol on you if at all possible, because it was very lucky that he had the opportunity to get back in the car, that he was in a good spot to do so. The only way to know you'll have it on you in the moment is if you have it on your person. That's why I can't tell you enough to do so. Now, I love that our victim here, he keeps that firearm close. You see him from a high compressed position. He puts shots on target. He didn't drive that gun all the way out in front of him. That's good training, keeps it close, because at that distance, very hard to miss, and he puts multiple shots right where they belong. And so then it closes very close. I think that he probably took a shot himself there. But also notice he just stays in the fight and he gets his head up. When he thinks that threat is over very quickly, he assesses to see what happened to the other guy. Doesn't get tunnel vision on the first one. I actually think that was a really good thing for him to do. Now, it says in the news story that the guy actually reached over to kick him, and so he realized that he was still a threat and went back after that guy. So you got to assess, get that first threat ended, go see what else is out there, come back and reassess what was going on. Don't think he shot him there. I think instead that he'd already gotten it in the first couple rounds, but he gets after him here and then makes sure that the threat is well and fully stopped. Again, if the guy continues to be a threat, we know that he was armed. You can continue to shoot until the threat is completely stopped, and the guy did that here because the guy continued to get after him. Now let's talk about first aid skills. Takes him a second to realize that he's been hit as well. That's a pretty big deal. And I love the fact here that the passenger is going to recognize, hey man, I got to secure this firearm. So even though it was the good guy that had that one, all right, we're going to have to get after some things. He gets the gun, get the ammo out of it, get it secure or put in a holster or something. He doesn't have that here. He's got it out of the car, and then get the first aid skills started. This is why I tell you, you can see him here get his shirt off to try to staunch the blood, and improvised stuff is fine if that's all you have, but this is why I say to keep purpose-made tools on you. Have your first aid kit on you and have a class under your belt that you know how to stop traumatic bleeding so that you can, in a pre-hospital setting, give him the best chance that he has to get to the hospital with a blood volume, with a pulse, so that he can make it. Thankfully, our good guy did in this case. He did enough. Didn't have the gun on him, but was able to get to it quick enough. Excellent marksmanship. Made sure the threat was stopped. Had enough first aid around him with other people to make it through and covered his asp.